Going up, Marcia.
Yeah, library girl.
Hey Chuck, how are you?
Hi.
Doing all right. You got me working. Along with the rest. Yeah. You got 212. It's 212. 212 and 212. One of them tickled that guy with the camera. Should I go take?
Welcome to the grand opening of the grandest building on campus, the magnificent James W. Miller Learning Resources Center. Our thanks to the SCSU Wind Ensemble for providing our music today. Thank you very much. I'd like to take a moment to introduce our speakers. James W. Miller, right here, whose family's generous gift led the university to name this building after him. Judy Foster, President of the Faculty Association. Eric Wimberger, President of SCSU Student Government. Ray Bradbury, Distinguished Author and Futurist. And Christy Tornquist, Dean of Learning Resources and Technology Services. And also on the platform is our song leader, Catherine Varelli, of our music faculty. This is a historic day for St. Cloud State University. It's the culmination of over 20 years of dreaming, planning, and working toward the very important goal of giving our students the finest learning resources center in the region. I feel especially fortunate because I understand I'm the first president whose office view is dominated by a beautiful library instead of a parking lot. It's wonderful to see students and others streaming in and out of the James W. Miller Learning Resources Center, taking advantage of the latest global technology and the expertise of our staff. It's difficult for us techno-challenged folks to comprehend just how much libraries have changed. As a young boy in rural California, the libraries I visited opened the world to me through books and magazines. I took them down from shelves and held them in my hands. Patrons of the Miller Center have virtually unlimited access to the resources of the world at their fingertips through technology that's growing at a faster rate than the human mind can grasp. It's imperative that we prepare our students to use that technology, to harness it and apply it in whatever field they're studying. That's what's happening every day in the Miller Center. With this resource, we're preparing tomorrow's educators, business leaders, communicators, research scientists, and other professionals to lead in the 21st century. There are many to thank for helping to make this great resource a reality. Today, we're celebrating because of their vision and their contributions. We are grateful to past and present administrators and library staff, to legislators, to alumni and foundation leaders and friends, and to the many contributors who generously supported this wonderful project. We're happy to see Jim and Marion Miller and their family so well represented on this very special day. We also are fortunate to have the distinguished author and futurist Ray Bradbury with us, a man whose writing has stretched the imagination and vision of generations of fans who have enchanted a new generation of students with his inspiring presentation yesterday. It's fitting that we should have such an artist with us for this very special celebration of the blending of technology and humanity. In a few minutes, we'll hear from Mr. Bradbury. But first, I'd like to introduce a man who, together with his family, has been so generous in supporting the mission of this university. Jim Miller is a respected business leader whose civic leadership has been a tremendous asset to the community and to St. Cloud State University. Please help me welcome Jim Miller.
Thank you. Good morning. I again would just like to comment on how fortunate we are to have Barbara and Roy Saego as president and leader in a partnership with the St. Cloud University. What a wonderful partnership that is. I want to thank you for coming and participating in this wonderful celebration. Words can express my pride my family and I have felt as we've watched this magnificent learning resource center take shape and become a reality. We also would like to thank the St. Cloud State University for giving our family the opportunity to be part of it. As many of you know, my wife Marion and I have been involved in St. Cloud State University on many levels, and we are pleased to support this outstanding community resource. We appreciate the excellence, education, and preparation for the life that our children and their spouses have received at St. Cloud State University. As a businessman and an employer, I place a high value on the contributions this university has made to the community. Many of the graduates have been friends, colleagues, and employees, and I appreciate the positive impact they and the university had on the St. Cloud region. One person especially, Steve Ludwick and his wife Barbara, are very special to me. Steve was with our firm for 9 years, and he is the one that put this together. Today, my family and I are pleased to have our name linked with the facility that will be a campus and a community center for study, research, and learning well into the 21st century. Thank you for being here to share this memorable day for the Miller family. Thanks. Thank you again.
Good morning. My name is Judy Foster, and I'm here to represent the faculty of St. Cloud State University. Libraries, they're not what they used to be. Just think, a whole new generation that will never know what a card catalog is. One year when I was in college, I took a summer job working for the local school district, preparing new school libraries. I typed a lot of catalog cards on a typewriter. It might even have been a manual. Libraries, they're not what they used to be. As an English professor, it seems I've always been a bookworm, and some of my favorite memories as a child growing up, as a student, and as a professor are of hours spent in libraries. And now the Miller Center, just in time for the 21st century. Through all the changes, from cards to online catalogs, from bound periodicals to computer printouts, from crowded stacks to glowing monitors, I still love being in a library. I love searching for resources using the point and click method as much as the thumbing through drawers method. I love poring over a journal article online as much as in a bound volume. I love searching electronic databases as much as periodical indexes. Libraries, they're not what they used to be, but I love them as much as ever. One thing hasn't changed: the furrowed brow. Nothing is dearer to the heart of a faculty member than walking into Miller Center and seeing students seated at study tables, bent over their books with furrowed brows. Now I'm learning to appreciate the furrowed brow in front of the monitor. Whether the fingers are turning pages or scrolling screens, the furrowed brow is a sign of an active mind. This whole new generation that will never know what a card catalog is will still be able to experience the joy of mining this treasure house for information and ideas and using this space for the active pursuit of knowledge. They will remember this place as fondly as I remember the libraries of my past, as a place where their minds could catch fire with learning. Thanks to all who made the Miller Center possible. Thanks for keeping that fire alive in the next century.
As a representative of the student body, and as a student myself, I can truly say that we students are thoroughly impressed with this facility. No longer are there lines to access a computer. No longer do we have to sit in a cramped 120-degree body-heated space at odd hours of the night to check email or write a paper. Internet access is virtually everywhere, with ports at tables for laptops. And those flat-screen computers are just cool, I'm sorry. If we need a quiet place to do group work, rooms are available. Afterwards, there's a place to socialize in the coffee shop. I remember as a freshman and sophomore talking to students that didn't even know where the library was and had never been in it. And now this place has become a social gathering place where people meet and like to work and like to learn. I appreciate this opportunity to take part in this great celebration and to say on behalf of all SCSU students, present and future, how fortunate we are to have this great campus resource. It's one more reason why St. Cloud State University will continue to be the top choice for so many students. And now join me in welcoming our special guest, Ray Bradbury. Mr. Bradbury.
Thank you. Thank you. They asked me for some brief remarks. That's like asking King Kong to be careful walking across New York. The reason I'm here is I'm a library person. I was born in and raised in and remain in libraries. I never made it to college, but I went downtown in LA to the big main library there, 2 or 3 days a week after I got out of high school. And when I was 28, I graduated from the library. So all the best, the women in my life have been librarians, English teachers, and booksellers. They're the best women in the world. So, so I'm here because what you've opened here today, and thanks to the Miller family, I think they're a magnificent family, what you've opened here today is not only a library, but a hospital and a cathedral. A hospital where we go to get cured, where there are two honorable professions in this world, medicine and literature. The doctors cure our bodies, and the library tries to cure our minds, and most of the time it does. So we come here with our sickness or in half health to be cured, and we find the cures on the shelves, and we come here as to a cathedral for confession. We hear the confession of authors from centuries past who whisper to us in the night, or we give our confession to the book as we read it. We come here to find reflections of ourselves. We search the shelves, don't we? And we open the books and we close the books and we put them back. And then all of a sudden we open a book and there's a mirror there and we see ourselves. And that author is our author for that month or that year or forever. Or we go back and look in the mirror again and say, my God, how did Dickens know my soul? How come that Hemingway knew this about myself? So all the things we want to reveal and would like to talk to other people about are in the books. It's the equivalent of the wonderful nights when I was a child lying on the front porch with my family back in Waukegan, Illinois. We'd gather there on summer nights, my grandfather, grandmother, my parents, my brother, and all my aunts and uncles, and there'd be talk, wouldn't there? Talk in the summer night. And I'd be lying on the floorboards with my ear down to the planks, and I'd listen to my grandfather's voice going down through the rocking chair and along the planks and into my ear. And when the conversation sort of dwindled down a bit, I would whisper 1910, 1912. And my grandfather would say, oh yes, 1912. And it would start again. So that's what you do in here, don't you? You whisper to the stacks, 1910, 1865, whatever the year is, and the stacks answer. I wrote Fahrenheit 451 in the library. Did you know that? 50 years ago, I had no money for an office. I had a full house with a full family, 2 young kids and my wife, and there was lots of joyful noise, but you can't write very well in the midst of joyful noise, can you? So I searched around to find a place where I could write free of charge, and I was on the UCL campus, and I wandered down below the library, and by God, down there was a typing room with 12 typewriters in it, and for 10 cents a half hour, you could rent a typewriter. And so I moved in there with a bag of dimes, and in the next 9 days, I spent $9.80, and I wrote Fahrenheit 451. So you can see how great a part libraries have played in my life. Can you imagine writing Fahrenheit 451 and dashing up and down the stairs between sessions at the typewriter and plucking books off the shelf and discovering old loves or finding new ones, of touching the books, of holding the books, of smelling the books? They smell great, don't they, huh? They're fresh from the bake oven, and they're wonderful. So, and then I'd run back to the typewriter with some little bit of information I wanted to insert in the book to have Montag read. And the book was finished and came out, and very slowly it's come into our society. And I'm very grateful to know that it's in the libraries and the schools today. And of all the authors that you know, I'm the one that has written more books and poems and stories and plays about libraries. I've written poems about Emily Dickinson, one called Emily Dickinson, Where Are You? Herman Melville said your name last night in his sleep. And I've written poems about Edgar Allan Poe being my crazy uncle. and Kipling being a distant relative. All these people are wonderful. See, I love other authors so madly. I've never been jealous of them. I've been in love with them. And my dream when I was a child was someday to be on the library shelves leaning against L. Frank Baum and the Oz books, or having my shoulder touch Edgar Rice Burroughs. The Tarzan books were so important to me. You got to start somewhere, don't you? And I started with Tarzan and John Carter, Warlord of Mars. And then along came Jules Verne and H.G. Wells. And then finally, I was fortunate to write the screenplay of Moby Dick and get to know Melville intimately for 7 months in Ireland. So, and I've been writing a whole series of new short stories about other authors, about taking a time machine and going back in time to make them happy, because there's so much in the history of our beloved writers, isn't there, that's unhappy. And when you know them and love them, you want to go back and say, hey, it's okay. We still love you 100 years ahead. I went back in my time machine and discovered Edgar Allan Poe on his deathbed, and I put all of his books beside him and said, Mr. Poe, the cask of Amontillado still being drunk in the year 2000. And then I go and seek out Melville, who, as you know, died unknown. He was a customs inspector in a seaport, and I go back and find Herman Melville on his deathbed, and I bring all of his books with him. I say, Herman, wake up, open your eyes. It's his last hour on earth. I said, look what I brought you. New edition of Moby Dick, 1929. New edition of Moby Dick, 1935. New edition in 1947. Open your eyes, Herman, and read this first line here. And he opens his eyes, and he reads, call me Ishmael. And he dies. So I've made him happy, haven't I? I've made him happy. So we all want to give back, don't we, to our favorite authors? And the way we do is by being librarians, and by being teachers, and by being lovers, and speaking as I speak to you now of my great loves. So that's my background. That's why I'm here. And I'll end by telling you about my favorite night in the year when I was about 8 years old. It was October evening in my hometown, and with my brother I'd get out and run through the autumn weather with the autumn leaves running after us along the sidewalk like mice, and we'd get down to the main library, and I'd fling the door wide, and I'd look in there at all those dark stacks, the shadows waiting for us. This place is too well lit. I don't like that. We got to put a few shadows in here, for God's sake. And I'd stand in the doorway, and I'd look at all the shelves and all the books, and I'd say to all my friends waiting in there, all the ghosts of all the authors that I love, are you waiting for me? Are you waiting for me? And all these ghost voices of my great loved authors would say, yes. So today, I stand here in this library, and I repeat the same words. I echo them back to you, to this library, and this chance for learning, and this wonder, and this brilliance. My answer is yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bradbury. Thank you again for yesterday and today. We appreciate you being here.
Surely.
And thanks also to all of our speakers here today for your eloquent expressions of gratitude and appreciation for the James W. Miller Learning Resources Center. I have the pleasure of coming to work in this building every day, and it's just been wonderful. For that privilege alone, I would be grateful. But there's more, because I also have the opportunity of working with a dedicated group of faculty and professional support personnel who are excited to help students and faculty get the maximum benefit from the resources we have to offer here. So I want to take this opportunity to publicly thank those learning resources and technology services faculty and staff and student workers for the years of planning and extra effort that they put into making this an incredible resource, not just because it's big and beautiful, but because it has that magical combination of technology and personal attention for our students. I also want to express appreciation to all the others who made the construction and furnishings of this building go smoothly. We are so proud to have brought this dream to reality on time and under budget. Special thanks for this significant feat go to Leonard Parker and Associates for designing the building, to Donlar Construction for carrying out that design, to CPMI who functioned as our owner's representative, to our own buildings and grounds crew for their expertise and attention to detail, and to everyone on this campus for their support and patience during the construction and transition phases of the project. I would also like to thank my predecessors, Luther Brown, who could not be here today, and John Burling, who is here, for their vision of service, which is embodied in this structure. It is also fitting to give special recognition to those who have represented us at the state capitol. Current legislators who are here today include Senator Dave Kleiss, Representative Jim Knobloch, and Representative Joe Opatz. Former legislators here today are Jim Peeler, Jeff Bertram, and Jerry Bowerly. And I ask that as you see them today that you stop and thank them for their much needed support. We also thank our former Lieutenant Governor, Joanne Benson, for her assistance in making this a reality. And now a few logistics for you. After the ribbon cutting, I would invite you to take advantage of our self-guided tours. If you haven't picked up one of these sheets, I would invite you to do so. You can start from any location on the sheet, and balloons and signs will provide you with some helpful guidance. Also, there will be people throughout the building that will have name tags on, and they'll be available to answer your questions. Staff name tags, because a lot of you have other name tags on. So. Some of the highlights that you may wish to look for as you tour the building include demonstrations of our electronic classrooms, greetings from our interactive television partner sites, a display of faculty publications in our archives, various performances by our music department, a chance to try out electronic books, and Mr. Ray Bradbury will be signing autographs from 12:30 to 1:30 today on the east wing of this floor. Please, please do enjoy the rest of your visit here, and we invite you to come back often. And now for the big moment. I have been looking forward to this for a very long time. I'm going to invite Catherine Verilli, one of our music faculty members, to come and lead us in the university hymn while the ribbon is being cut. And the words to the hymn are in the back of your program, so we'll invite you to stand and join with us for this. President Saigo and Mr. Miller, we would be honored if you would come forward at this time.
True ambition, let us ever be loyal to our tradition. Hail, St. Clouds, to thee, by the rivers flowing fellowship share. May they with sincere ambition for the years be loyal to thy fine tradition. Hail, Saint Clouds, to thee.
Thank you so much. We invite you to enjoy the day. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
all right.
I'm not best.
St. Cloud State University. Please help me welcome.
Pursuit of knowledge. They will remember one thing hasn't changed.
Fresh salad. All the things you can have in your backpack.
This is all the brand new micro area where microfiche and microfilm and maps are housed. Welcome and let's celebrate.
Today's my day off, but I'm here.